Some latest pictures coming in of that major flare-up along the line of control. We have pictures that after Pakistan violated, how Pakistan violated the ceasefire and how India retaliated to Pakistan's ceasefire violations in North Kashmir. These are the latest pictures we are getting from Jammu and Kashmir after that major flare-up. Remember, 3 Jawans and 3 civilians have been killed in that mortar shelling in Baramulla along the line of control. 2 army Jawans and 1 BSF Jawan has been killed in action in heavy shelling by the Pakistani forces. India has given a befitting reply to Pakistan after these ceasefire violations. Vishnu Shom now joins me for more on this. Vishnu, explain to us what we are seeing in these pictures.
Well, there are 2 sets of videos. One of them actually shows a direct hit by the Indian Army on a Pakistani bunker. As you know, on the line of control, the distance between Indian positions and Pakistani positions is often just a few hundred meters, if that, in certain areas. And therefore, these soldiers are in very close proximity. In this particular case, it's possibly a rocket-propelled grenade which was used to engage this particular Pakistani bunker. It could have been a mortar as well. It's very difficult to tell. It could have been a bunker-busting gun as well. It's a heavy rifle which is used by our forces. It's called an anti-material rifle, which is used to penetrate structures like what we have in bunkers on both sides of the line of control. But quite besides the video itself, it's a sad day because 6 people have been killed. 3 of them are soldiers killed in action. 3 of them are civilians. 3 Jawans and 3 civilians have been killed in Pakistani mortar shelling in Baramulla along the line of control. Of these 3, of the 6 who were killed, 2 are army Jawans and one was a BSF Jawan who was killed in heavy shelling by Pak forces. There's 1 civilian who is also presently critically injured. Separate to this incident, 7 civilians have been injured in shelling in Sodia in the Poonch district, where there has also been a major retaliation by Indian forces. Our army sources telling us that there have been multiple casualties on both sides. So a major flare-up in several areas, Uri, Poonch, Baramulla, on the line of control.
Vishnu, put this in perspective for us. Before the winter sets in, usually Pakistan tries to push in a lot of terrorists and infiltrators along the line of control, isn't it?
That's a good question, Rohit, and that seems to suggest that that is exactly what the Pakistanis were trying to do. So I've got a few more details coming in just now. My sources now indicating that 6 to 7 Pakistani army soldiers may have been killed in India's retaliation, including 2 commandos of the Pakistani Special Services Group, who are special forces, and 10 to 12 people have been injured. In addition to this, a number of Pakistani army bunkers, fuel dumps and launch pads have been destroyed and set on fire. So this is the Indian retaliation, but to answer your question, yes, this often happens at this time on the line of control because of Pakistani attempts to try and infiltrate terrorists. So what happens is that as terrorists try and come across, there is covering fire from Pakistani forces, and then we retaliate, and then the situation either is dealt with or it escalates. Today it escalated big time. Even artillery may have been used, though we cannot confirm that. We can confirm that mortars were actually used. And as far as the incident itself and what happened today, the Pakistani forces started firing after Indian forces eliminated an infiltration attempt in the Keren sector today. So all along the line of control, on a day of what should otherwise be celebration, our Jawans are alert to this threat. But there have been multiple casualties on both sides, with significant casualties which have been on the Pakistani side as well. As I mentioned, with my sources indicating that 6 to 7 Pakistani soldiers may have been killed in retaliation, including 2 Special Services Group commandos of the Pakistan Army. 10 to 12 people have been injured, civilians and soldiers, in addition to a number of Pakistani Army bunkers which have been targeted. And we brought you videos of that, fuel dumps, and also terrorist launch pads which have been destroyed and set on fire. And a couple of the videos which we have, which I've shared with you and which you should have on air now, actually indicate the extent of India's response today.